Hello and welcome back to Factorio. I noticed while I was prepping for this that I did not have replay turned on. It was unfortunate. Then I started looking at the replay system and started remembering limitations. It's not as useful as I would like. It would allow me to restart and watch the game progress and be able to stop at certain points and look at the game, maybe make alterations in scripting and so on. But it breaks when you update mods or some game versions. And to replay a recorded game, you do have to roll Factorio back to exactly that version, which means if you let Factorio update, you're going to have a bad day. Which is why I also locked us onto that particular version of Factorio. So going forward, I will be not locking myself to a given version of Factorio. I will be not trying to use replay because I didn't start this replay. I could have started over. I mean, I'm only like 4 hours in. We're fine. I decided not to do that. So we got this mall going here. We got some yellow belts. We got some basic inserters with reserved space for higher tier belts and for the next next tiers of inserters. We need to automate some more stuff. I want to add assembling machines and electric mining drills at least, and probably other things. See as time goes by. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to snapshot this and drop it in here. Leave myself a bit of space. This first one I am going to make assembly machine. We will have Mark II and Mark III assembly machines eventually. Those will stretch off to the right. Actually, dump this in. We have our miners. What else do I want to do? I don't want to automate boilers and steam engines. I think that's it. I think now we're ready to start thinking about doing some science. We just need to automate these. This guy needs iron plate and gear wheels. That's easy enough. Oh, I was going to go refit these. Oh, I did refit them. So we have changed our power a bit. I am not sure I like this. So I am going to do it again. I don't like having the power along the center line. I'm gonna rip out all the power here. We are going to be reworking power again once we get our steel. Well, once we get power that has larger ranges. And at least that used to be steel and such. Probably still is. But for these power poles, basically I want to go like this. Mainly this is for the screws. Notice that I've got some power poles that are almost next to each other. We still need those for coverage. Now for these guys, if I put it on the left, it picks up all of that. If I put it on the right, it'll pick up those. So we may end up with a lot of power lines. Is there anything I want to change about my insert? So these guys are now set up properly. They've got little excess in terms of power. I'm going to make it so at least it's patterned. We're going to be using a lot of power poles until we get better power poles. Let's just presume that these guys can be done like this. We can get those out. Everybody is repowered. Set you up. These guys obviously are going to have outputs. I'm of two minds as to whether right or not. Problem is, we definitely need inputs left and right, and the tops, these guys are being power, but 3 in a row, I really do need one on either end. Not a whole lot I could do other than put the power pole dead center and use a lot of undergrounds. Do that. What would that look like? And would it allow me to do put the power pole here? That would cover only this one corner, so that's not going to be. Still have too many power poles. I will continue thinking about this. Is to get this one, this one, this one, and this one. Oh, gosh darn it. Let's actually experiment here. Right. I'm going to do on a box because I am collecting too much junk. Got too many plates, too much brick, too much stuff. There. That's not too bad. See how it works out. Oh. Let's put the lights in the middle here. Well, it looks like we are starting the day with a bit of a redesign to our mall. That's okay. It's actually the kind of gardening that normally I would do off recording, but so these blocks, they actually look pretty good. I'm willing to make the sacrifices to do that. That also means that in theory, we could do a lot more undergrounding. Oh, this to here, this is not going to work. Okay. Well, it will work if I run power horizontally some other place. I am determined to make this work. How do I want to run the power horizontally? I run it down the middle. For now, I will, these guys, this. Oh, actually, it would make more sense for it to come in the top. That to be where we get our power from the bus off the left. There and there. I'm ignoring the connections going upward. So basically the power poles is going to change when we get out of the screw grid, the grid there. So up to here, that's nice and clean. Let's do something about that. Also means I'm going to have a nice blueprint. So if I do this, I only have the power to the, then some of what I did in the middle here goes away. These guys don't have any power and outputs have to change. So they're going to put an output there. If I'm putting stuff to the middle anyway, go ahead and embrace it. And we have the problem of our... That can just come right in anywhere here. Now, normally I would stripe the green down, that in the future if we need to, but until we decide we need... There's that chips. I've actually been using up some of my stuff up here. We're going to continue the march of the power pole changes. Again, down here, you'll notice that we have stuff in the middle, which is not going to be powered. That. Which means our outputs again need to go toward the right. Downside is with the power pole here, I believe we have a problem. Well, the top one, I could get my green chips from above. I know what I could do. Oh, he needs power. Durr. Wait a minute. Gonna get the beans, and I'm going to have yellow inserter going to you, just like that. There we go. Just need to do that. That works. This guy, we're going to do the same thing here. I think I will continue the pattern. I'm going to use blue inserters when I'm outputting my yellow inserters. Use a lot of those. And I think it's probably a little bit faster than the yellow inserter moves things. That's not too bad. I do like using the undergrounds, so we're good there. We do need to make some sort of a standard judgment on lights. I think on that level, yeah. And let's get the power fixed up. Now, if I place the power poles in a blueprint, it means I can stripe over them very quickly and have it come through. What to do is I am going to take this guy starting here. out through the power poles. So let's take all of this. There we go. Our power. We have a whole bunch of stuff reserved. Here is our assembly machine 1. I'm going to reserve the... I don't know whether I'm going to be able to fit assembly machine 2 and 3 in here, but I will reserve spots for it. Electric mining drill. So these both need green chips, so we're going to bring the green chips in on the right, and we're going to bring iron in on the left. Like that. Iron goes there, green chips go there. That's going to be a jump over. He's going to need a place to put output, so we're going to back him up by 1. He's going to put output over there. Output. Output. And I will be leaving the save running between recordings so that it can fill this stuff up. So this needs 0.75 green chips per second. Could be a yellow inserter there. This needs 3 per second. We're going to leave a blue on there. So he will just, you guys just will fly as fast as they can. Let's leash them back to 2 stacks, though. Well, there's assemblers and miners all ready to go. And I like this layout better. The only place I had to worry about cutting across was the first machines that are doing gears. Is there a more clever way I could specifically do the gears here? That would cover it. I kind of like that. So yeah, I keep refining designs here. What I'm trying to do is leave big holes where I can put in beacons in the late game. Because I always think about that. But that works if I can get power to it. I think I'm going to do the same. Oh. If I put there and there, that gives me an excuse to put some lighting in the middle. Now, if we were these guys to be similar, because why not? Oh, almost got those inserters. See, some of these places I have power poles are 3x3 areas which are big enough for beacons. But when we get the beacons, we will also have other things we can do. You know, better power, I hope. So if I set it up this way, what does it change these guys? Well, let me think. What I'm trying to do is come up with a nice, simple pattern for the layout of my power grid. Okay, so that kind of power grid, that very nice. I think it lends itself to replacing these with larger power poles in the future very nicely. It doesn't include the green, but I think I'm going to go ahead and bring the green chips down. So we need that, that. If I'm going to do that, then these guys need to be middle. But they can't because they don't have power. Which means there's no way to bring the green chips down outputs. I would have to bring them down the next aisle over. It means making my mall longer and using long-handled inserters to move green chips. This guy requires 2.5 green chips per second. He was already using a long-handled inserter. He's the only one that needs it, though, so... And power. Still leaves me with my problem of how do I handle the output. I think I just handle the output here. So there's his output. We still need the output for these guys. Okay. If I needed to bring the green in, this would work. Output is really not right, though. So this kind of arrangement works when I have my inserters on the corners. Does it work for this stuff? His output is going there. I don't have power in these squares. I basically have power on the corner connections. He requires input from there and there and there and there. So we still have his output going somewhere. Let's see how it shakes out. With these guys, you really can tell what's going on here. So when I have the power connection, you can tell that we're only connecting on the corners. We need bigger power poles. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to pause reworking all until we have bigger power poles. And let's go do that. So next research, steel axe requires making steel to get there. That. There they are. I need red and green science. Let's go turn on steel, get some red and green science. I have too many of out in front of the mall, I'm going to put down some overflows. For overflow of things that are in the mall, put them in here. That. I do not need 5 stacks of... 2 stacks is enough. 2 stacks of undergroundies is enough. I was going to say 3 stacks of inserters is enough. Here we go. Red inserters, I only need 2 stacks. Let's reduce blue inserters back to 2 stacks. There we go. Oh, and we don't need any gear wheels at all. What am I gonna do about gear wheels? I guess I could just put them in here. I don't need to carry any of those. So, steel. So while I was running my belts up, I figured I would set up some priority mergers so that we had a strict priority belt, so the left-hand side will stay full. We'll try to pack everything to the left. And I ran my steel up, and I said, well, let's build the steel array. And this is just the same steel array I have been building for many years. It's based on the same idea from the normal array. For those of you that haven't seen this, if you have 2 belts coming together like that, items on both lanes of this belt will be loaded onto this lane of the center belt. Items on that belt will be placed on that one. That's our first principle. Second principle is you can do this with these guys. Okay, it doesn't buy you a whole lot yet, You turn it around, you get this. The coal comes in, and it's side-loaded onto that belt going north and that belt going south, and the same thing with the iron. So what you have is two full belts coming in from the sides and full mixed belts going north and south. And you can have your furnaces with one inserter pulling from that belt, and it will pull coal and ore as it needs it. That works beautifully. And this is just my mechanism for getting coal up the chain. So it comes to do steel. Well, we've got our belt down here. It's going to be the same thing. I don't have any iron coming in yet. This is going to smelt the iron. We're going to go up here, and we're going to take the iron plate and coal. Well, we got our coal from here. We've got our output belt where we're going to put the steel, and we've got another belt where we're going to get our coal for the iron. Can make this more compact if you have better power poles. So I kind of went whole hog on this one, striped it out, actually built it out. If I had built a little bit of steel first, I could have gotten some power poles and gone with a slightly more compact design. But we're going to go with this design because it was easy to lay out. And now I just need to get some iron. And we go over here and notice it's now very clear this guy is out of iron. Those alerts, it used to be just a little red light. I just realized that I kind of pushed something, swept something under the carpet there. One furnace making steel has an input that's the same as one. Its input matches the output of one furnace making iron. Gotta wait until we've actually made some so you can get the numbers. The one belt will saturate these first furnaces. So slow. So these move at 15 per second. Capacity of the belts, I think, is either 6 or 8. If you use your circuitry to read the contents of a belt, what I remember was it was reading 668, 668, 668. And that may have changed. But either 6 or 8 at 15 per second means we're moving maybe 2 of these squares per second. So, cranked up. These guys input 0.31 iron ore per second and put out 0.31 iron plate per second. Okay? These guys take in 0.31 per second, so it matches. But they put out 0.06. So basically it's 5 plate per steel. We're going to have steel coming up. Apparently steel actually need to make more than one. What does steel axe give us? Increases your mining speed. Well, that's kind of useless, but I didn't want to trick that off before, doing the recording, so I didn't start through. There we go. We got steel axe. Now I need to build a science array that builds red and green science. We'll be able to come back here and pick up steel. What did that open up here? Opened up steel chests, or steel plate. Their capacity is larger, so they have a storage size of 48 as opposed to 32 or 16. We have repair packs available, folks. So if I have shot stuff, for example, I've run into stuff with a car, I can repair it. If I were playing with biters on, we could repair things from the biters. I think these were all here before. So we now have a belt of steel on our bus. I'm not claiming these are going to be full anytime soon, but I'm reserving the lanes. The best way to reserve the lanes is by putting your overflow there, so when you do let the save run for a while, it will fill everything up slowly. So science, how do we want to handle science? I'm thinking that we're going to be bringing back many, many different kinds of science. And what I want to do is bring it up the left-hand side and put my science labs here somewhere. So I am going to make a pathway up the left-hand side of the thing. Okay, so we're going to start from the top. Start from here. I'm going to leave 2 spaces. I'm going to reserve 4 belts worth of space to come up here, which can, in theory, handle 8 different kinds of science. And instead of putting it next to the lake, I could let the science grow out here on the right. Oh, that would work. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to bring the science to the right across here somewhere. How about here? And what we're then going to do is turn, this is my science bus. This is mainly so that the first belt I put of science will be on the right-hand side here. And we'll build our science lab area up here that will allow us to grow east and north without worrying about. And let's put in our turn here. So the first belt is going to have red science on one side and green science on the other. Let's start planning that. I'm going to give it some space. I'm just going to run my bus down like that. I don't know how much. So our recipes are going to be real simple. red science and science. Red science, we're going to need copper plate and iron gear wheels. Green science, we're going to need transport belts and inserters. This is transport belts. Transport belts require gears. And inserters here. Actually, these guys, oh, they also require gears. These guys require gears and electronic circuits. What's our ratios here? Every 10 seconds, this turns one copper plate and one gear into a seam right. Let's look at the ratios here. Okay, one copper plate and one iron gear, 5-second crafting time. These have 0.5 crafting speed, so every 10 seconds, we need a plate and a gear. This guy. Every second, 2 iron plates to a gear. So one of these could do 10 of those. 10 of these will turn out 1 per second. This takes 1 transport belt and 1 inserter, and in 6 seconds, call it 12 seconds, turn out a pack. So that would be 12 of those. Let's start off with 6 of those on one side. Oops, 5 of those on one side and 6 of these. So this would produce 1 of each science every 2 seconds. Let's make it every second, because why not? And what I'm going to do, I put the other 2 out of the end here. Oh, and we need some more machines, but where could we get those? Oh, I don't know. Where could we get those? Oh. Now I should be blueprinting these. Let's work on it as a blueprint. If nothing else, that gets rid of the flashy. I'm going to pick up these machines as I have satisfied the requirement. 1 gear machine. Satisfy all of these. So we're going to bring belt in like this. Guys are going to put that. This guy is going to send his output that way. He will need to be taking input for something else. You need this belt to be half and half. But this guy needs copper plate on one side and gears on the other. So we're going to need to make a copper plate and gears. let's put out here. We've got space, let's do it. And this is going to need to be iron. I'm going to drag my poles the other way. See what pattern we get. Automatically placing poles will place them either, it will place them where they need to be to move the power to everything. There we go. And we just replicate this across now because we've got a nice pattern going. There's our mixed science belt. Iron, copper, mixed science coming out. Now these guys are going to require a little bit of extra tender loving care. I'm going to put in the same kind of power arrangement. And they will require a belt coming in. We'll draw those belts out in a moment. So around the midpoint, what I'm going to do, I'm going to have stuff coming up from above, going out like this. So now we can build our other two things. So our two things we're going to build are transport belts and inserter. Transport belts require some gear. Guys require and iron. Here's require iron. Bring up some iron. So this is going to place it on the far end. It's going to place it on the far end. This will merge them properly and look. We want to power. So he's getting his iron. He's getting his. He needs green as well. Gotta make that work. Okay, that covers everything but these two. Of course, if I make this come out like this, TBD. Wait. If. No. I was considering was bringing this out north after bringing this up this way. Don't think these guys can come close enough. Let's take him like that. Him like that. He would have to be this. That might work. And our outputs would have to be here. That's not bad. But it doesn't merge them. So that moves this down one. It does save us from having any... Oh, no, no, no. We still need our green here. Designing and redesigning on the fly. So the green chips come in here. Iron comes across here. You know, I don't like this team. I think I am going to accept that I need to bring these guys up the front. Somehow. I forgot whether these go out the right or the left. Doesn't matter. Because that merges. Okay, there is my green science ingredients. Yay! So the first ingredient is going to be copper. Bring it over here, go along that line. That's really just for spacing. Notice I haven't been doing it up here, but we're going to leave a little bit of space. Iron. Our science output. And the rest of this is going to be, well, that would be available to use for moving things up and down short distance. Get iron on this line. This is chips. Oh, and I am out of undergroundies. I think it just did. Those belts look good. I'm not going to hook up the inputs yet. Oh, machine. All of these machines again. Oh, I need to put power poles. Yeah, should have put the power in first. And I didn't plan for lights. What I do is I gotta put lights in here, since these power poles of them will cover. There we go. All lit up. Power and lights down here. Okay, inserters. I believe, up. I forgot one. Let's see, I believe that's all of them. There we go. So now if we hook up our inputs, we should start getting our outputs. So copper needs to come from the left. That. Once we have pulled the copper, I want to then ensure that all these guys are going proper belts. Same mechanism here. And here. Here. That look right. That looks about right. Ooh, I forgot something. I should have just copy pasted one of those. Right. Okay, time for more belts. To control right click to get half of the total is in there. Notice it. That. Because we had a whole bunch of extras. And now we're going to use them. Section's good. Gonna bring just short of starting the science. we go. And while that's starting, I can bring the rest of these down. Where do I want the bus to stop on this? About here. And I already picked up all my brick. Come up here and grab some more brick. Wouldn't it be nice when we have robot drones that can deliver stuff to us when we get low? Using a river of green. All of our inputs are backed up here, so we have more than enough materials, and here's red and green science coming out. We currently have 5, at 10. Okay, so I want something like this. Actually, let's do 12 so I can get a pattern going. Trying to make it so it'll be easy for me to add in more science of different types coming in on the left. Like that. We're going to need something that will bring our power in better than this. Oh, and these are going to need... Don't know how fast the science is going to be arriving, but at some point it may be quite fast. And we can do that. I give myself a little bit more space to move things around. Getting the belts right for delivering the science to these guys may become a challenge. Okay. And there's our science off to the races. What I'll do first. Automation is an obvious one. Advanced. This is our better. Smelting. Circuit networks. Let's just turn it all on. Because you know I'm just going to leave this going. And there we have it. We now have red and green science automated. We have packed up our research list for a while. And the engineer is going to take a nap. See you.